All right, so let's talk a little bit more about this, Kim, because, I mean, look, nobody's going to argue with a tax cut or extension of tax cuts. But I think the question is whether they're going to be funded or unfunded, right? What Trump seems to be trying to do is to fund tax cuts with tariffs. Would that be too simplistic?
Yeah, I think that's an accurate assessment of his platform, and it's worrisome in terms of the macroeconomy as well, because that could simultaneously create inflationary and recessionary pressures. So let me talk you through that just a little bit. He has suggested even replacing the income tax with tariffs. That's impossible mathematically because the tax base would shrink as the tariff rate went up. And at best, we calculate you could only get maybe 40% of the tax back with tariffs. But tariffs come with a lot of collateral damage. It would create a lot of shocks in the U.S. economy and in the world economy as you disrupt supply chains and make manufacturing more expensive. And that's going to create a recessionary impact. At the same time, prices are going up due to the tariffs. And we know that U.S. consumers and U.S. buyers pay higher prices when we put tariffs on our goods. If foreign countries retaliate, foreign economies will also face higher prices and supply shocks as well. And so this could be the mother of all stagflations if he carries through on these ideas.
Kimberly, what do you make about this narrative that J.D. Vance is pro-worker, pro-union, and as such, we are going to see an extension of the Trump tax cuts from 2017 targeted at the middle class, at the working class, at the expense of corporate tax cuts?
Yeah, I think you have to look at what they do rather than what they say. Trump ran his first administration on a very populist-sounding platform that he was for American manufacturing and American workers. If you look at the actual policies, the corporate tax cuts mostly went to those at the top of the distribution. Even the individual income tax cuts were really skewed toward the top because you're bringing down every bracket for someone who's well off, but just affecting, in a very small sense, those who are lower in the income distribution who might have only got a couple $100s of tax cuts. You combine that with tariffs, which are paid by U.S. households and are very regressive in the sense that poor households pay a much higher fraction of their income in tariffs as richer households do because they consume a lot more traded goods as a fraction of their income. So if you look at that pattern, I would view this sort of nationalist rhetoric as really a smoke and mirrors. You're sort of telling the public one thing, that you're on their side, but at the same time, your tax policies are reverse Robin Hood. You're taking from those at the bottom to give to those at the top. And that's exactly what their platform tax policies would do.